Welcome back to Studio F. We're on Fast Times with B. We're reviewing Materialists. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Times with B. I'm Willy B. I've got Rosie back with me. And today, we'll be reviewing the latest A24 film to hit theaters. And that is Materialists. How you doing today?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Director-wise, we've got Celine Song. She did Past Lives last year, another A24 romantic, lingered film. This time, she goes the rom-com route.
Mm-hmm.
And cast-wise, we've got some decently recognizable names.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. A24 is always like a hit or miss with like the big names pool.
Yeah.
But this one they got, pretty recognizable people.
Yeah, we got the three-headed monster of Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal. And then, obviously, a bunch of others littered in that aren't as big name, but these are primarily the three we follow throughout this entire film.
Yeah.
But we'll start with the good. And I'm going to start with our male performances.
Okay.
I was a fan of what we get from Chris Evans. I was a fan of what we get from Pedro Pascal. I'm going to save comedy for another part of this video, but the comedy we get is mostly from these two.
Yeah.
And I think it helps a movie I didn't love have moments.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely put both of them in the good. I think Chris Evans is a guy that I feel like has just struggled finding a film that's not the MCU that is worth talking about.
Yeah.
And we get that here. I'm still in the same boat. I don't love this film. It's getting some great reception. I'm in the minority, but I think what we got from him was great.
Mm-hmm.
And Pedro Pascal is in that boat of you know what you're going to get from him, and it's usually some great comedic timing coupled with very solid performance, and that's what you get from him, and I would definitely put both of them in the good.
Yeah, Pedro Pascal definitely had all of the funny moments, I feel.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, not a big MCU gal, but I do obviously recognize Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So,
Pedro Pascal coming soon to the MCU. He'll be in the Fantastic Four movie coming out in July.
I've seen that.
And then Dakota Johnson and Madam Web, not MCU, but Marvel, so
yeah, they're all
comic book characters.
Yeah, they all have a connection.
I saw somebody say this is just the multiverse coming together.
Oh my gosh.
This is them in a different dimension.
I love it.
But no, I do enjoy both of our male leads here. It's a love triangle. It's an interesting premise. Dakota Johnson, obviously, she's a matchmaker in New York. Chris Evans plays the ex-lover. Pedro Pascal plays the rich new lover who checks all the boxes of matchmaking. He's a unicorn, as they say. And it's her kind of on this fling with him, but then she realizes she actually loves the guy even though he's broke. And it's got some substance, I guess. It just ultimately wasn't really for me. But like I said, I did enjoy the two male leads. I enjoyed the way the movie looked. This was shot on film. I love when a movie does that because it gives it that older feel. It just looks more aesthetically pleasing to me. So cinematography-wise, set design, all of that stuff, I really have no complaints on it. I think technical side of things, it's a very well-done film. I think the direction from Celine Song, for the most part, is well done. I just don't know if the writing was all there for me. But, there were a lot of things done well.
Yeah.
It just ultimately wasn't a story for me.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed the premise, especially today. We have lots of remakes happening and sequels and all those things. So it's kind of nice to get like a fresh quote story out. Not story, but like, you know what I mean? A fresh idea.
Yeah.
There's just so many things going on in Hollywood that are just, they're trying to redo so much. So it was kind of nice
As
to sit.
How to Train Your Dragon live action remake is the counterpart to this weekend's release schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do them anymore. I think Lilo and Stitch might have been the last one. It's
yeah. Yeah. So it was kind of nice to like sit down and like get something fresh, like something brand new. So I don't know if that's why I enjoyed it, just because we've been seeing lots of misses and lots of sequels and remakes and but I don't know, it's a different story, so I kind of enjoyed that. It was, I don't know,
one thing I'll put in the good one thing I'll put in the good on the writing side is they got Dakota Johnson to say a line where she admits to being a bad actress.
Oh, about how she never became an actress on Broadway.
Yeah, because she can't stand or walk right. Yeah, like all that.
Yeah.
I was like, good for you guys.
I'm
not a big Dakota Johnson fan.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen her. I know I've probably seen her in movies, but like I just don't know. I don't know.
I mean, she's 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know if you've seen those movies.
No.
I haven't. Madam Web. I didn't mind her in Cha-Cha Real Smooth. That was a movie where I watched and I was like, okay, I'm here. Dakota Johnson's got some chops, you know? But unfortunately, I mean, what else you got in the good before I move forward?
I liked the ending because I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. Yeah. Usually, you've seen enough movies, you've seen enough rom-coms where there's a love triangle. You can usually pinpoint how it's going to end. Yeah. But this one I really wasn't sure. Mm-hmm. And that, I mean, everyone might feel differently, but I wasn't sure how it was going to end. Was she going to end up, you know? Yeah. She seemed happy with Harry, Pedro Pascal's character.
Short King.
Yeah.
Tall King.
But she also seemed like she couldn't stay away from John. Yeah. So I think it was, I don't know, hard to tell. So I'm glad. I like the way it ended.
Okay. So we can hop over to the meh. In the meh, this is where I would put the story. This movie felt incredibly long to me. Okay. If you couldn't tell by the restlessness of me. Mm-hmm. And it never really... I was never able to really sink my teeth into it. It was meh. Yeah. The entire runtime for me, I was watching, I'm like... There's moments, like I said, a couple times where Pedro or Chris got me to laugh. I'd probably put the comedy in the meh. Not enough. For a rom-com, this was not very funny. The comedy we get is solid. Mm-hmm. We don't get enough. We don't get nearly enough. So I definitely put that in the meh as well. But just overall, the story, it wasn't anything that captured me. The matchmaking stuff I don't think was that cool of an idea. I mean, let's be real. And I get it. It's a movie about materialism and not being shallow, but a girl like her is going with the rich guy. Based on what I watched. Yeah. I don't. You can't convince me otherwise. But I don't know. It was just one of those movies that like I watched it and I didn't hate it, but it's not a movie I'd recommend to anybody. Interesting. Like I'm not gonna go to my friend and be like, "You've got to see Materialists." Yeah. I don't even know if I'd say like wait for it to come out to streaming. I'd just be like, if you really want to see it, go ahead. Right. But for me, like just ultimately, the most of this movie just falls in this meh category as far as entertainment goes. It just wasn't super entertaining. I don't think it has any replay value to me, at least. And it's not me being a hater of rom-coms. I actually love rom-coms. Yes. 10 Things I Hate About You and When Harry Met Sally are two movies I adore. Mm-hmm. And there's many others. Those are just the two I always say first because they're the two I love the most. But I am not a rom-com hater. If a rom-com's good, I'm buckled in. Right. And this was one that didn't capture me. I'll probably put Dakota Johnson in the meh. Yeah, I was tossing and turning if I wanted to put her in the meh or the bad. I don't think it was all bad. It was just one of those movies where every scene she was in just about every scene. There was a few scenes where she was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But there was quite a bit of scenes where, like, after the scene finished, I'm like, that was the best shot.
Mm.
That was your best take.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you took 25 takes. That's the one that made it into the final edit. Like...
Yeah.
So I'm going to put her in the meh just because I don't think it was the worst I've ever seen her, but it's on par with what I've seen of her. It's nothing special. And I hate knocking her, but you can't help but to think where she came from as part of the reason she gets her roles, which is, you know, obviously her parents being in Hollywood and nepotism playing a little bit into it. And I'm not against nepotism. I think Jack Quaid is the perfect example that if a kid can act, who cares who his parents are?
Right.
But... for me, Dakota Johnson, unfortunately, I don't want to knock her. She's just fallen into that category now where I'm like, I think you got here because of that.
Yeah.
And like I said, Cha-Cha real smooth, had a good time. I'm indifferent on her now. She's not an actress that's going to get me to the theater.
Yeah.
And I don't think she got me to the theater on this one. I was more excited for Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans. But
I think, I don't know if it was, I have not much to compare on with her, but I don't know. She just seemed very, I don't know, bland. Yeah. Like, very, like, not monotone, but, like, there was very little, like, excitement, like, in her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was just bland.
Bland. Yeah. She didn't have, like, a lot of, like, voice changing, like... when she was, like...
to get a guy like Chris Evans or Pedro Pascal, you've got to be, like, a 5-course meal. And she was unseasoned chicken and rice in this movie when it comes to personality.
Yeah. She didn't have very... yeah, that's what I was... every time I was just, like... she just... and I don't know if it's... and me, because I haven't seen her in much that I can remember, I was just like, maybe she's written like that.
Yeah.
But I was like, And then you leaned over and said something, and I was like, okay, well, maybe that's just how she acts.
So
it wasn't terrible, but I don't know. Like, she's in the meh for a reason.
Yeah, this is a good segue to the bad. Because now, acting aside, I put her acting in the meh. Her character is bad for me. I think for a rom-com, our female lead is incredibly unlikable. This whole movie, I was like, she deserves neither of these guys.
Yeah, she's definitely very shallow. And she admits it, which I guess is...
oh, cool.
I mean, like, not a lot of people...
good for her. I know, but, like...
shallow are going to
the scene when her and Chris Evans break up, and she's like, I wish I didn't hate you because you're broke, but I do. I'm like, I would have just left right there. And I think that would have been an easy way for me to fall out of love with somebody. Like, finances isn't everything. And then you get the rich guy, and you dump him. It's just, I don't know. She was a very unlikable character to me the whole time. I was almost rooting for her to get neither guy. Yeah. I think a better movie would have been if Chris Evans and Pedro Pascal decided to, go to Iceland together and have a little bro trip. That would have been a better movie to me. I don't know. I just did not like her character. I don't think the acting was great, and it was just a mess story to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else in the bad, but when your main character's written in the bad, that's not a good recipe. Unfortunately for me, this movie just didn't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
Do you have anything in the bad?
I said I enjoyed, like, how it ended up because, like, I feel like she actually ended up, like, the person that she wanted to be with and wasn't, like, faking it to, but I also feel like it's a bad look on her because she's a matchmaker and makes all these matches, but she can't find anybody for herself. And that's because
you have the stuff going on, too, with, like, the trauma for one of her... Honestly, to me, this movie was kind of convoluted, too. Like, it's crazy because it was boring, but also a little messy to me. Like, there was plot points that were just kind of all over the place. And, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't for me.
Yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
I think I definitely enjoyed it more than you did.
Yes.
But I definitely don't think I would be like, you have to go see it.
No, it's definitely... I saw somebody put on Letterboxd, like, this could become a rom-com classic, and I'm like, no. Like, I'm not a big fan of You've Got Mail, and You've Got Mail looks like The Godfather compared to this.
Yeah.
So, if that tells you anything.
Yeah. I don't really have, like, much in, like, the bad, per se. I just wasn't sure if it was an acting flaw or just how Dakota Johnson's character was written for me. So that's why it's
a little of both.
Yeah, that's why it's in the math for me, just because it's unclear whether she was just... didn't seem like she wanted to be there, that's how she was, because usually people that are shallow are pretty, like, I don't know.
I'm just baffled by the reception it's getting, because I'm not always on par with the critics and the audience, but I'm usually in the ballpark.
Yeah.
And I'm not on this one. It's got like an 88 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like I think like a 3.8 out of 5 average on Letterboxd, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, which you'll hear my score in a minute, I'm like, maybe half of that. Like, I'm not even close. And so it makes me wonder, like, am I missing something? But I don't think I am. I just don't think it was for me. I don't know.
I mean, there are definitely people in this world that probably love Dakota Johnson.
Yeah. So I did watch the trailer before we went in and told you, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this movie.
You did.
I could tell from the trailer, and you can kind of see the acting in the trailer, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just don't think I'm a big Dakota Johnson fan.
Yeah.
I think she kills movies for me. I'm sorry. You're beautiful.
She definitely is. She did definitely kill this one, I feel.
Yeah.
So.
We can hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with Materialists, and what do you give it out of 10?
It's one of those movies that I'm not upset that we seen, but it's also not a movie that, like, when people ask me what movie did you see this week, I'd be like, oh, The Materialists, like, it was okay, but, like, I wouldn't, like, rush to go see it. But, like, if you're, I don't know, if that's what you like, I guess. Like, I wouldn't, like, discredit, you know what I mean? I'd be like, oh, don't go see it.
Yeah.
Because it's getting great scores, and there's obviously a reason for that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I kind of fall, like, middle-ish in the pack, and I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay. For me, I'm going to go 4 out of 10. Just below that meh category, I'm going to put it at it didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
To me, it was a movie that I was checking the clock. I was ready to get out of the theater. That's not like me. You know, I love being in the theater.
The food was good.
Like Rosie said, it's getting good scores, so obviously go check it out and form your own opinion. Don't
definitely
let me sway you from that. I'm an advocate for go and watch every movie you can.
It's definitely one of those movies where you have to go and, like, see for yourself.
Yeah, but it just was not for me. And let me know if you feel the same way I do, because right now I just feel alone on an island. Although there was a few, I like reading some Letterboxd reviews after I watch movies, just because they're more comedic most of the time than they are serious
they are
reviews.
Really funny.
I love just reading the one-liners, and there were some good ones that were rating it low, that were funny. Like somebody pointed out the Dakota Johnson saying she's a bad actress line, and I was like, yeah, that was the quote I chose for my my quote of the movie. So it was funny when I saw that because somebody else caught it. But yeah, it's just another movie that I will. It's going to be one of the movies that is pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
By end of year, and especially since there's just a lot of what could be great movies coming the second half. I mean, July alone is absolutely loaded. And then not to mention, spooky season is going to be great, and obviously end of year when you're getting that final push for the Academy Awards and just award season in general, you get some great movies. So it's going to be. I think I'm a little under 40 movies on the year, and it's. I think bottom 10, so it's definitely going to get lost in the shuffle. But like you said, go check it out and form your own opinion.
That's right. It's definitely one of those movies where I don't think you can follow what other people say, because I feel like there is a little bit of both kind of people in this.
For sure.
Not everyone's loving it and not everyone's hating it like other movies. So
there's other great rom-coms, though. Go watch 10 Things I Hate About You and When Harry Met Sally if you want. Extraordinary rom-coms.
Definitely great rom-coms for sure.
That'll do it for Materialists. Rosie, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. As always, we appreciate anything, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace and love.